Guys, this is Carrie with Fullerton Professional Organizing, and this podcast and YouTube, we talk about decluttering your faith, your home, and your business. But today we're talking about our kitchen and our dining room, organizing your kitchen and dining room, making these high traffic spaces work for real life. Now, if your kitchen and dining room feels more like a freeway at rush hour than the cozy heart of your home, which is what we all want. We want it to feel warm and cozy, a place where your family gathers and enjoys a meal together. You're not alone. These two spaces are where life really happens, especially on our holidays coming up soon. It's where we cook, eat, prep lunch, drop the mail, pile the groceries, dump the backpacks, and sometimes, let's be honest, it's where the clutter just likes to live rent free. Well, today we're talking about how to organize these high traffic areas in a way that actually works, not just Pinterest pretty, like we mentioned in the previous podcast, but real life functional for your family. We're pulling insights from four of my favorites organizing powerhouses: Kendra Adachi, the lazy genius; Cassandra Aarssen, Clutterbug; Dana K. White, a slob comes clean; and Dawn from the Minimal Mom. I'm sure you've seen many of their YouTube channels. Each has their own flavor of wisdom, but they all agree on one thing. Your kitchen and dining room should serve you, not the other way around. You should not be a slave to your home. It should be easy breezy. So number one, start with purpose. Kendra says, be genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. When it comes to your kitchen and dining room, what means this? That means deciding their real purpose for you and your family, not the all overall general purpose for everyone. You specifically, your lifestyle, your family, what's important to you. Is your kitchen a high-speed breakfast station on weekends? A family dinner hub at night? The drop zone for every school flyer? Is it a homeschooling spot? Amazon box, random water bottle? The first step to organizing these spaces is naming what they need to do for you and your family. Not what a magazine says, not what a magazine says they should look like, or how a magazine says it should function. When you know the why, every organizing decision becomes easier. You don't need 20 gadgets if you only cook 3 real meals a week. You don't need a fancy dinner centerpiece if the table doubles as a homework central every evening. Purpose first, stuff second. Now, number two is set up zones. Cassandra Aarsen's magic. Cass is all about making your home fit your natural habits, not forcing yourself into someone else's system. She'd tell you to think in zones, little stations that support what you actually do in these rooms. In the kitchen, that could mean a coffee and tea station. But if you don't like coffee, then you won't need a coffee station. So you're not wandering around for mugs, spoons, sugar first thing in the morning. If you want that, it has to be all together. A lunch packing zone where containers, snacks, sandwich bags live together. Game changer for school mornings because it's all stored together. A cooking zone with pots, pans, utensils near the stove where you actually use them. Now, I would say your dishwasher and anything that you put in the dishwasher should also be one step away from the dishwasher. All right, so that should help. In the dining room, zones might look like a homework caddy you can plop on the table and put away when it's time for dinner. In a caddy that's movable, easily movable. A mail or bill basket that keeps paper piles from spreading like weeds. And once that bin is full, you know you have to take care of it. A table setting station for napkins, placemats, or candles if you love a cozy dinner vibe. Zones let your brain and everyone else's know where things belong, which makes keeping order 10 times easier. Now, number 3, declutter like it's not personal. Dana K. White's approach. Dana's no nonsense rule. Just make decisions. Stuff piles up because we avoid deciding what to do with it. The kitchen and dining room are especially guilty of this: duplicate utensils, expired pantry items, half-used napkins, sorry, broken crayons, mystery cords that you don't even know what they go to. Dana would tell you, take the easy stuff out first. Obvious trash, things you don't even like, stuff you forgot you even had. Ask 2 magic questions. 1, if I needed this, where would I look for it first? That's where you put it, and that's where it belongs. 2, if I needed this, would it ever occur to me to look here? If not, that is definitely not where it belongs. If you're on the fence about something, Dana reminds us clutter is just postponed decisions. Making these calls now gives you more space and less stress later. Now, number 4, keep it simple. Dawn from the Minimal Mom. Dawn's philosophy is freeing. You don't need more organizing products. You probably just need less stuff. Every extra spatula, every just in case, serving dish, every random cup someone brought home from a work party, it all steals space and peace from your kitchen and your dining room. Her advice: ask yourself, how many do I actually need? Do you need 12 mugs when there's only 4 people in the house? Now, I love that idea, especially during the summer when kids are all home from school. And I've tried this at home. There's only 3 of us. We only need 3 plates, 3 bowls, 3 forks, 3 spoons, 3 of everything. Until we get used to the fact that those items have to be washed every day, or you won't be able to use them the next day. Now, I did this until there was a habit formed. Of course, now I have a place setting of 8 because those habits are now established. But as a parent, you get tired of washing and cleaning the whole kitchen and then having someone bring out 10 plates and 10 glasses from their bedroom that you didn't know was there. And now your kitchen sink is full of dirty dishes again. So this prevents that from happening. Everybody has one thing to use every day. Now, I'm not telling you to get rid of all of your dishes. I just put them in the garage until habits were established. And sometimes that takes a full year just because they take you seriously and they know that there's no other dishes. Now, it's different if they're prone to go into the garage and go get them, but mine was not. So once that was established, I was able to put a set of 8 back in my kitchen, and now things run smoothly. So do you need 6 spatulas? Or is your favorite one doing 90% of the work? Now, I heard Dawn of Minimal Mom say that you only have 4 burners. So even if you used 4 pans at the same time, that is all that you can use at once. So how many pots and pans do you need? Do you need every holiday themed paper plate, or would you just keep a small stash? Fewer things equals fewer dishes to wash, fewer decisions to make, fewer piles to manage. Simplicity makes your high traffic rooms easier to use, easier to clean, and way less stressful. Instead of starting months in advance before a holiday party, you may only take a week to spruce things up and decorate for a party. The why behind it all. So, why organize these spaces in the first place? Because your kitchen and dining room sets the tone for your whole day. When you're overflowing, you feel it in your shoulders, your patience, your mornings, your family dinners. You feel it throughout the entire day and evening. When they're setting up to serve you, when it's set up to serve you, breakfasts are calmer. Meal prep takes less time. Dinners feel more inviting. Paper piles stop ruling your life. You can breathe a little easier in the place where life really happens. Now, organizing these spaces isn't about perfection. It's about creating a flow, an easy flow. It's about making your home a helper, not a headache. And as Kendra says, it doesn't have to be perfect to matter. Small changes, one drawer, one shelf, one pile, add up to big peace over time. Now, look around your kitchen and dining room. Look around it today. What purpose do you want each space to have? What zones could make your life easier? What decisions are you avoiding? What could you let go of so these spaces breathe again? Start small, start with what matters most, and remember the best organized home is the one that works for you. Okay, now let's tackle the pantry, fridge, freezer, and your recipes. If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's this. The kitchen can make or break your day. We talked about that already. It's the heartbeat of the home, but it can also feel like the Bermuda Triangle, where snacks, leftovers, and your sanity disappear. The pantry door swings open 20 times. 20 times a day. The fridge is a revolving door of chaos, especially during the summer. The freezer hides mystery meals from last winter, and don't even get me started on the random recipe pile stuffed in a drawer somewhere, or the many hoarded cookbooks and hoarded recipes hiding somewhere. If you've ever stood there, fridge door open, muttering, "What's for dinner?" Or you heard your family member ask every day, "What's for dinner?" while staring at 3 condiments and half a bag of lettuce, you're not alone. The good news is organizing these kitchen zones doesn't have to be overwhelming. Let's talk about that and the what and the why of organizing your pantry, fridge, freezer, and recipes, and why I'm putting it together as one thing. From the 4 women that we've been studying, Kendra Adachi, Cassandra Aarssen, Dana K. White, and Dawn from Minimal Mom, these are some tips and tricks. All right. 1, start with the why, because function beats fancy. Before we grab bins and label makers, those are beautiful items if needed. Let's think about why these areas matter so much to you and your family. Kendra Adachi, she's all about being a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. A kitchen that works for your family rhythms means you can actually get dinner on the table without crying into your cutting board. Organizing these spices saves decision fatigue. You know what you have, what you need, and what's for dinner fast. Now, Cassandra Aarssen, she'll tell you your organizing style matters. Are you a visual organizer who needs clear bins to see the snacks? Or are you a macro organizer who just tosses things in broad categories like breakfast, dinner, snacks? Your pantry shouldn't feel like a test you're failing. It should match your brain, not a magazine. Now, Dana K. White, she brings the real talk. If you can't maintain a complicated system on a Wednesday night, then you're exhausted. It's not the right system. She focuses on visibility, accessibility, and ease of putting away, not picture perfect rows of jars. Although I do personally believe if you have all your spaghetti jars in a row, it helps. Dawn Minimal Mom, she'll remind you that you probably have more food and recipes than you need. A cluttered kitchen means wasted money, spoiled food, and decision overwhelm. Fewer options equals easier choices and less stress. Okay. Now, number 2, pantry, your meal HQ. Think of your pantry as your command center. Now, I don't have a pantry, so you may not have a pantry. You may have to rethink this a little bit. But if it's overflowing with stale crackers and 8 bottles of vinegar, it's not helping you. You do not need 8 bottles of vinegar in your pantry. Put them in the garage. Put 1 or 2 in your pantry. Now, step 1, declutter ruthlessly. Dana's rule: if it's expired, gross, or you forgot you owned it, let it go. Now, step 2, group by real life categories. Cassandra's trick: think how you grab food. Taco night, snacks, quick breakfast, baking. Big, broad categories keep it functional. What's cooked together stays together. Step 3, set limits. Dawn would say your shelves are your boundary. If you keep buying cereal, but only eat one type, stop stocking 10 boxes. Use what you have before you buy more. That is a real thing, folks. If you have an overflow of Christmas paper plates and Christmas napkins, set a rule for yourself. Do not buy any more until you've used the stash that you have. I cannot tell you how much and how important this is. You cannot use what's in your pantry if you cannot see it and if you forget it exists, or if you have 8 bottles of vinegar. When are you going to use those 8 bottles of vinegar? It's okay to have overstock, but you can't keep it all in the pantry. At some point, there has to be overflow, possibly kept in the garage, so that everything in your pantry can be seen, grabbed, and used. And when you run out, you replace it with the overstock. Or the very top of the pantry and the very bottom of the pantry can have your overstock items. It's very important. Any area that is overfilled, I mean, you can break it down to 5 duplicate items, keep 2 in the closet, pantry. It doesn't have to be we don't have to just be talking about pantry here. If you can see all of your items, you'll know when you run out. Therefore, you'll know when to replace it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go on to number 3. That's just something that I see a lot of in people's homes. The fridge. Stop losing leftovers. The fridge is prime real estate. I have a rule, those leftovers have to be eaten in the next 2 days. But it's easy for last week's dinner to get shoved to the back. Growing science experiments. Visibility is king. Dana suggests using clear containers and avoiding deep stacking. Out of sight means out of mind. Designate a must-eat first zone. Inspired by Kendra's name what matters philosophy. But anything that needs to be eaten soon, right where your eyes land first. Simplify the condiments. Dawn would challenge you. Do you really need 3 open bottles of ranch? Trim the extras. And I have 2 bottles of ranch open at this time because we thought one was going to taste better than the other, and they tasted the same. 4, freezer, your backup plan. Freezers are magical. They hold the emergency dinners and save you on busy nights. But when they're overstuffed, it's more like a black hole. Or if you don't have it organized by zones. That's my add in there. Now, inventory before you shop. And we're not talking about a written inventory. You can look with your eyes. Keep a running list so nothing gets forgotten. If it's a written list that works for you, great. But if you can visualize it, great. Containerize by type. Cassandra recommends loose categories like meats, veggies, ready to eat, bags of mystery food. No thanks. Make space for future you. Kendra reminds us that Prepared food today is a gift to tomorrow's you. A few labeled freezer meals can turn 5 p.m. chaos into calm. And I just had to do that myself just yesterday. I took all these dinners out of their storage containers and put them in baggies labeled so I wouldn't forget what they were. And guess what? The baggies take up so much less room than the containers. So I went on Amazon and purchased now, I didn't buy the name brand Super Cubes, but I recommend Super Cubes. And I'll tell you if my off brand works good or not. I did buy an off brand, but I recommend them. I bought the size that I use the most. That way, I freeze my extra, I will make extra food, freeze them in those, and then put them in baggies labeled so they're not taking up all my food storage containers. Because to be honest, my food storage containers, I would like for them to just be in the refrigerator with the things that I'm going to eat the next day. That's a whole different avenue. But now, number 5, recipes. Stop the paper pileup. If you have lots of paper recipes that you love and you want to keep, put them in a binder. But get rid of most of them because you can now Google them. And now let me tell you a secret that I have learned. You can actually create a recipe using AI and it actually works. It will actually make a food, a casserole, a bread, and it will be edible. Trust me, I've done it. All right. Between cookbooks, printed Pinterest recipes, and handwritten notes, recipes multiply like rabbits. I've seen it. We've had to declutter tons and tons and tons of cookbooks, and we still kept too many cookbooks. My very special cookbooks I keep in the garage because my go-to has now been Google. But I keep my very precious cookbooks in the garage. And the cookbooks that I use the most, I do still keep in my kitchen. And those are mostly my bread maker recipes from my bread making machine. And I have some cookbooks that I've used since I got married, make a mix cookbooks where you make bulk mixes. Those are still my go-tos. But only keep what you actually make. Dawn's mantra, more doesn't help. If you haven't made it in 6 months, toss it or archive it. Create a go-to binder or digital folder. Kendra loves automating decisions. When you know your family loves 5 dinners, keep those on repeat. See, this is how I keep my personal meal plan simple. I have a whole month of just go-to loved meals. And then when I want to change it up, that's when I do a more complicated meal. One home for everything. Cassandra's advice, choose one spot, a binder, a box, a tablet, app, and corral it all. Stop the wandering paper trail. Now, why all this matters? A functional kitchen, as we mentioned earlier, isn't about being Instagram worthy. Nothing in our home has to be Instagram worthy. It's about giving yourself margin. When your pantry isn't chaos, you don't buy duplicates. When your fridge makes sense, you waste less food. When your freezer has a plan, takeout isn't your only option. And when recipes are easy to find, dinner doesn't feel like a daily pop quiz. Now, organizing your kitchen areas saves you time, money, and the mental load, the mental energy, and every one of these experts agrees on that point. Now, our final thought for this video is you don't need a label maker army or a weekend-long kitchen overhaul. Start small, one shelf, one drawer, one meal at a time. As Dana would say, the easiest way to keep your home under control is to do something, even if it's small. Yes, label, but you don't need to go crazy. Your kitchen should serve you, not the other way around. Simplify it, make it functional, and watch how much lighter dinner time feels. All right, guys, that is it for our kitchen and dining room and recipes, pantry, all the things. It's not all the answers, but these are some things that will simplify your life and your family's life and make things a little bit simpler. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next one.